Hello, today we'll be going over some tips and tricks to level up your game and go over some information that may not be clear. Running out of slots to build your base with? How do you increase your facilities and furniture number and the number of decoration structures? Well, the first thing you got to do is go to your mimetic screen, go to building, scroll down, and you'll find a territory expansion all by its little lonesome right here. All right, and it tells you to expand it. Go to your terminal and extend your building zone. But I will warn you about the way it works so that you can build in preparation for it. So once you've taken that mimetic, you come over here and you go into vault, and there will be an extension option, which we don't have right now because I've already done it. But I do want to show you what happens when you expand your territory. So let's go into fly mode here. All right, so as you can see, there's the big white square around my base has expanded much further out than it is for a normal size base, but that hasn't done that yet, right? So if you notice though, it expanded out in every direction from the center. All right, so if you built your base around the center, it's going to expand out every direction. Even if this was built right on the edge of my base, right? So even if I built right here, it was still expanded out beyond that way. So keep that in mind when designing your base. And I heard gas converting is good for your motorcycle or your vehicle. So if you come in here, it'll tell you that the input-output ratio is 10 fuel for 1 expanded fuel, right? And it won't let you go above 150 right now. If we were to put that in and let it output, we should get 15. But we end up with 3. So this ratio is not correct. And it takes 3 to fill up your motorcycle. So 150 fuel will basically fill up my motorcycle around 6 times, right? And with the 3 fuel, we'll only fill it up once, and it may burn longer, but it definitely doesn't burn as long as filling it up 6 times. So this is not worth it for gas purposes for your vehicle. But maybe if a better vehicle than a motorcycle needs it, or a crafting recipe or something like that. But just so you know, right now, this is not a 10-to-1 ratio. Currently, right now, it's a 50-to-1 ratio. All right, and just a little tip that might help you with your base designs. You can set up pylons or any other type of electrical device here. Let's go and look. I'll show you. All right, you can use pylons or terminals, whichever you prefer. These may look nicer in your base than a pylon, but I just use pylons because it's easier for me to track everything. All right, so you just run. You can run all your generators into one pylon, and then you can run it out from that pylon into wherever else you need them. So I set up, this one runs all of my water pumps. This pylon runs some crafting items. This pylon runs my farm, and this pylon runs all my defenses. And so when I don't need my defenses, I just turn this off so I can save that power or use it elsewhere. And if I don't have enough power to run my defenses, I can go and turn my water pumps off when I need my defenses and get power that way. So that's just a quick way of using switches in your base. We can go into a more advanced electrical tutorial in the future. So make sure to subscribe for future content. So getting started, you may see that there's a cradle unlock. It tells you can't access the cradle until you've unlocked it. And you have to go to a specific area. It says something, Myers Market or something like that. Let's pull up. So you just follow the main story, your quest, and eventually you'll go from the starting area. We'll take you over. Once you get high enough level, you'll come into here, and basically you'll travel down to what's called the Myers Market, and you'll do some quest here, and it will unlock your cradle. And it's pretty much that simple. But while we're on the subject of the map, as you notice, you can hover over. You can see like, I haven't found everything here, so I could go find stuff there, and then I would get a few extra rewards. So if you see something like that has some rewards you would like, you can go and do those. But this will really slow down your main story progress, so it depends on how much time you have to play, right? But you really want to watch for these. Right? These blue exclamation marks are quests, and you can go accept these quests and just complete them. Some of them are easy, some of them are complicated. Some of them are puzzles. Some of them will take you into dungeons. So there's some pretty cool stuff you can actually encounter by doing this. You can actually get quite a few deviations through doing these types of quests. but you can always come back and do these quests later. I would recommend, because since everything's like a week long, doing the main story quest. So like mine right now, I need to find Mary at Greywater Camp, so I need to complete this before the next, and try and get through the main story and get to the end of the main story in the next few hours before this phase ends. And then the next, so I spent too much time doing these, like running around grabbing all of these little exclamation mark quests, which seem to just keep popping up. When you open your map, you can look around, you can see party event, surge of fish, right? You see this exclamation mark here. This means something, there's some kind of big thing going on. As you can see, there's this surge of fish event here, right? But there'll be different events besides surge of fish that you can participate in, and you just have to constantly watch the map and check it out every now and again. Like the dark side here, we could go participate in that. It recommends level 18. There's 30 minutes left. This is going to be an event. And you can teleport to it. It doesn't seem like there's any cost for teleporting to them, but that may change in the future. But yeah, let's teleport to it and check out this event. So once you enter an event area, you can look at the top left of your screen and it'll tell you kind of what's going on. And the top left is very important. Every time you go into a new area, you'll see changes up there. Some places will tell you how many loot crates you need, things like that. Just pay attention to what's up on the top left of the map as you're moving around. So it'll tell you kind of what needs to be done in that region you're in. It's kind of a way of like getting, without having to take a whole bunch of quests into your inventory and kind of try and sort through those. Instead, when you're near where a quest is happening, you'll see that. So the dark side, we have 27 minutes left. Doesn't seem like other players have noticed that this event's going yet. There should be a better way of determining that. But anyway, hopefully the devs add some kind of alert that will show that. Oh, actually, there's some fighting going on over here. Is there a player out here, or is that just being random? Oh, is that a butterfly? No. Not sure what it's doing. I guess there's no player. Anyway, so we got to eliminate the Black Lake pollution sources, which is going to be this heart here. So it's got a HP. We have 30 minutes to bring all that HP down. If you're soloing this, another tip since we're here is to use while you have a gun, if you have a melee weapon equipped, you can still use it without having to switch to your melee weapons. You're not having to wait for it to melee weapon to equip to start fighting. You can just hit the V key. Right, each one of these things will usually have a weakness. If you can find where to hit it, it'll do extra damage. And as you can see, like 1900 damage plus 486 damage is not hurting it that much. This is really designed for several players. Hey, look, other players are showing up. It's a good thing I didn't clear the event before they got here. At some of these events, there was one where we had to dance to a disco ball to drop the shields on the enemy. So there will be different scenarios that the enemies may require. Like this one doesn't seem to require too much. Make sure you look around before the event ends once you defeated it. And if you show up and near the end, just make sure you hit it a couple times. All right, and as you can see, there's rewards laying around. Make sure you collect all those. All right, the wish machine. How does this thing work? If you haven't, if you've done the quest for it, you probably already know. But yeah, you can come in here. You can F for make a wish and G for blueprint shop. If you hit G, you can come in and you can buy whatever blueprint you want with your Starcrom. Right, it's a lot though, so you gotta save up your Starcrom for this. And you have all these different blueprints you can get here for weapons. And then of course, after I bought this one seems to have appeared as well. So you may want to hang on to your Starcrom until another season starts. All right, so then make a wish. How it works, you come in and you play a game mode. As you beat them, they go away. So like the one before, Echoes from the Rift, is gone. Once you beat the game mode, the next one opens. And then, of course, Herald of Courage and Caged Prisoner are going to be locked until the next season starts. Not season, the next phase. Are going to be locked until the next phase starts, right? And then I imagine these two will be unlocked from a future phase as well. All right, so the way you beat these is you see these signs here? These are holes that I've closed up. So as you hit the gophers in the head with your hammer, you'll close up the holes. Once all the holes are closed up, this ends and you can move on to the next one. And this is kind of like a gambling box. So we hit play. We have our hammer. Each hit cost. I don't know why it didn't show a cost. I think this one's cost is like 500. So you hit with a hammer, and each one has a cost. The cost will be at the bottom middle of the screen. This mode has a cost of 500, so I can only do this a few times. But you can potentially gain a lot of good stuff this way, or you can just save up and buy exactly what you want, because what you're going to get in here is going to be kind of random. So we smack him, and you see we got a mask blueprint there, and here we got a pistol blueprint. All right, so at the top here, it shows you what you can get and tier-wise for loot. So we can find up to 15 B loots, 4 A loots, and 1 S tier loot. So once you've gotten your S tier loot, you may just want to stop. Although you could get some nice armor and weapon blueprints in here that aren't necessarily S tier, but you're going to be spending a lot of your points that you could technically save and use otherwise. So it's up to you, however you like to do it. But once you hit that S, I would stop. You're looking for an electric eel to power your generators? Check them out. They look like connected batteries. All right, so in order to get an electric eel, it's fairly simple, and yet it can take some time. So what you got to do is you got to go to the water and fish. Supposedly any water will do, right? I've never caught them in a river, so I would recommend the ocean. But, I mean, that's the only place I've caught them. You may have a chance of catching them elsewhere. I can't say for sure or not since I haven't actually done it. Alright, where I happened to catch these was on a dock in the Broken Delta area. Alright, this is like a level 17 zone, just south and west of Myers Market. Right, on a dock. And this dock is located near 5270 and negative 7168. Alright, and I caught 2 eels with 35 casts. So make sure you bring at least 35 bait with you so you can catch hopefully 1 eel. And if you didn't have luck at that location, you may just want to move to other locations where fish are biting. And you can also use the fishing event that happens every now and again. And that supposedly increases your chance of catching the electric eels. So you want to remove a piece of gear for whatever reason, but still have it equipped. You just want to hide it, right? Like hide a helmet, those kind of commands, things like that. So how do you do it? Well, let's open our gear pack. All right, so when you're in this screen where you equip your weapons and gear, just hover over the gear you want to hide and press the V button. See what or whatever button it tells you at the bottom of the menu here where it says hide gear. Hit that and your gear hides. And there you go. Alright, so you want to unlock the endless mode from the main menu where you can just go and build a house or whatever you want in there. They have a cave, there's a lake, and some cliffs over the ocean where you can build. So you can build whatever kind of dream house you want in there. But how do you access it? Alright, well, you have to complete Chapter 1 according to the phase description. I unlocked it after unlocking my cradle at the Myers Market. So, I guess it kind of varies when it unlocks for you or when it considers Chapter 1 completed. Have some currency to spend. Maybe you even have currency that you didn't know was currency. We'll go ahead and show you where to spend some of it and how to earn back some of your energy. So on the maps, you notice these areas like this. Right, this is going to be hubs wherever you're at, and it'll be surrounded by shopkeepers and quest givers and stuff. So as you can see, if you come over here, there's one here. This is Myers Market. We have the Tallgrass Inn, Deadsville. I don't think Deadsville has very many, if any, shopkeepers, but I could be wrong. It's been a while since I was there, so they might have all of them. I know Myers Market does, and so does Greywater Camp. But Tallgrass Inn's only going to have 2, and they're not going to be the Energy Link ones. Alright, so this guy here, you'll see him at different camps with his box. Come up and talk to him. He lets you spend the cubes you've been collecting through different quests. So the Stellar Planula, or however you pronounce it, you can come in here and you can buy some things from him. So that's where you spend those boxes that you've been gathering from quests. And then if you've been doing the truck quests, or truck rallies, or whatever they're called, the events that have the trucks in them that you destroy them, stop them, and then you collect sproutlets, you can come into this store and buy and spend your sproutlets. Once you bought all the stuff in here you really want with sproutlets, then you can really start stocking up on acid. It's a great way to get acid because it's pretty cheap, and acid, you need a ton of it. Alright, but there's better ways to get acid we can show you in the future as well. Right, and then of course you can, if you find the guy with the clipboard above his head, they will give you commissions. There's usually one in each area as well if you don't want to talk to V for your commissions. But then look for the other shopkeeper. This one has energy link, and if you notice at the top, it doesn't just say purchase anymore. It also says purchase and sell. You can come here and sell him consumables. Right, you can sell deer meat, whatever, wild meat, whatever you have to sell that you don't want, or that you farmed up a ton of to make back energy link. And of course, this will change from season to season and patch to patch as they try and balance things. And if you notice, you can only earn 50,000 from him at least once a week. All right. So if you're really wanting to collect up some energy to spend on stuff, definitely come in and max out his selling limit. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. Have an awesome day.